All right, everybody ready? We back, we back, we back. So let me get my camera, my little laptop adjusted here. All right, everybody, we back for another episode of It. Then This Happened. Today I got a whole new panel, a couple of new guests on the show. I want to start out by, of course, introducing myself. I'm Stephanie White, the CEO, host, whatever you want to call me. And then this happened. Of course, my next guest, if you don't know who I am, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Kisses, 86s, KIZZ, Easy, 86, Easy. Oh, Lord. I'll get it typed in some type of way, y'all. I didn't even remember how to spell my own Instagram. Sorry about that. But I also have a YouTube channel. If you would like to like, subscribe, share, it's called And Then This Happened. We're going to try to get the links on there the best we can, y'all. We still learning and working as we go. I'm glad to have my repeating guest, Miss Brittany Doolin. She is a mother to two, our up and coming real estate agent. So if you're in the Louisville area and you are looking for a place to stay, contact your girl, send her a friend request, something, anything, and let her provide you with your housing needs. She is also an aspiring blogger of Be the Face of Freedom. Be the Face. I got it. So welcome back, Brittany. I have a new guest to the show. His name is Mr. Charles Williams. He is actually just a Facebook friend of mine, but he is deep. So we just had to have him on the show. Like, how many children? Oh, he's a father to how many kids, Mr. Williams?
5.
He's a father to 5. I know I almost think from his introduction, he kind of went from the West End to Reform. So it's like kind of hard to now, I'm intellectual. That's kind of how I took it. But if you have not had a chance to kind of just peep into Mr. Williams, send him a friend request and just check out some of his topics and his conversation. Deuce deep. So we had to have him on the show this week, okay? And of course, my good friend, Mr. Courtney Marquette. I'm so happy to have him on the show. He's a cross-country traveler and a single father to one, and he has a podcast as well. That's kind of how I took it. But if you have not had a chance, we got an echo. See, that's right. Okay, so anyway, so Courtney Marquette, okay, father of one, cross-country traveler. He also has a podcast that he does. Now, I didn't catch the name because I was kind of trying to scroll through my little inbox really quick of the podcast. But send him a request. Courtney's cool. Some of y'all should already know who Courtney is. If you don't, y'all know Courtney's he's homie from back in the day on Facebook here. And last but not least, my favorite producer. If you don't know who Duryea Collier is, you better go find out about Wonelli Media. Mr. Duryea Collier, welcome back to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and kind of jump back in. If anybody doesn't know how And Then This Happened works, basically we pick up different topics off of social media. We kind of go over it, talk about it, topics that people may not like to discuss about the community. Wherever our mind goes, we just kind of let it flow. We get it going. So I'm going to ask you guys, if you're on here, share the live. You know what I'm saying? Get your people to come on because it's live. Let's get some comments going. Get people on here and let's talk, y'all. So I am going to, I guess, start off by, so I wanted to have like a panel of like 3 men and 3 women because I personally feel like this week the men are taking some serious L's on Facebook. So I was gonna give some good men on here a chance to go ahead and redeem yourselves off of this Jada and Will Smith and
oh God,
what's his name? Tory Lane shooting Meg Thee Stallion in the foot. We doing it pinky toe style. That's how I put my post on Facebook. He done went straight Harlem Nights and shot the girl in the foot. So what's going on, fellas? Like, what's the emotional breakdown this week? So I personally, before I allow you guys to go ahead and break loose on me, because I know y'all are, I just personally want to know, I've seen so many posts like Jada took advantage of August and she took advantage of his mental health and all and his vulnerabilities and insecurities. I personally think it's BS. I think it's something that we see all the time.
You think it's BS, the whole she took advantage of him thing?
Yeah, because I've even seen posts that go as far as saying she's a pedophile. Like,
what? Somebody said that?
Yeah.
Well, he was a whole grown ass man when that jump happened. He was a whole grown man.
I think he was super excited to be able to bag the lovely Miss Jada Pinkett. Like, who? I'm not gonna say who wouldn't, because there might be a man out there but like, it's Jada Pinkett. So I don't see, I don't know. Maybe y'all can provide me insight on what I see as a straight emotional breakdown, only to get on the internet today and see he got an album coming out.
Hey!
Yep. That about fires it up.
No, you don't. You're lying.
I think I saw it maybe on the Shade Room. Y'all know I'm gonna try to double back and forth on my page and stuff. But I definitely thought I saw on the Shade Room that he spoke of Will and Jada again, because he wanted to make sure that people understood that what they had was indeed an entanglement. He would describe it as an entanglement.
I'm so mad.
Coming out soon too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, who gets to go first? Can I go?
Please, any one of you fellas.
This is why I'm mad. There's several reasons. I feel like it's not even a male-female thing. It's a person thing. Like, as soon as this all happened, I saw the interview and I was like, I assumed, this has to be an old interview that's just now, becoming popular. When I found out it was a current interview, I was like, so he's clearly doing this for attention. There's no other reason for you to spread your own business, your own privacy. Like what happened in the bedroom, I thought that was understood. You know what I'm saying? Once you start taking that out in public, to me, it's just it's classless and it's selfish, because you knew the only person in relaying that news to other people that would be hurt are not just Jada Pinkett Smith, but also her husband and the 3 children that she has in her home. You don't really take no L's. That's why you're totally selfish. I don't believe that she took advantage of him, whether he was in a mental state or not. He's a grown man. She didn't lead him to and in order for something like that to happen, I'm pretty sure both parties were, for a man, like if she wasn't drugging him, you know what I'm saying? Then that was a consensual act. I wasn't there. And I really do personally feel like we in our community have this thing that's been put into our head where the Black woman doesn't want us to succeed. I saw somebody post that online before. And I think that creates a dissension between Black men and Black women that is perpetuated by white supremacy. Because in order for white supremacy to be what it is, the Black man and Black women can't be in the same household together. They can't be together. So we want Black men to feel like these Black women don't have their back. So situations like this, we're going to push it. Because what it does is it makes Jada look bad. But every time you've seen a man in the public do exactly what Jada Pinkett Smith did, it's a little bit of he. But the men are like, I mean, I would. And so my thing is like, it's about accountability. If you know it's wrong, it's wrong. You don't have to agree with him just because he's a man. And if you're a woman and you disagree with her, you don't have to agree with her just because you're a woman. If you see fault in either one of them, you should be allowed to express that. And I just think it's a lot of it's messed up what they're doing. I'm
gonna give a quick example. So Offset gets to go cheat. He gets to interrupt Cardi B's concerts, come out there with some flowers and stuff and say, "Forgive me." You know what I'm saying? And all of us is like, oh, that's beautiful. Forgive him, Cardi. Forgive him. Jada, who is actually in the midst of a very, they were on the brink of divorce. What a lot of men was like, I don't care, I ain't see nothing about that. Will Smith had a girlfriend. Oh, yes, he did. He had a girlfriend and they were traveling the world. She had all the pictures all on Instagram. So if you need proof of that, I got another blogger. She has a very good page on YouTube. Her name is Tasha with a K. She's been covering that since before this whole August stuff came up. She's been posting pictures. She's been posting all their business for years. So if you need some verification, hey, she's got it. But Will Smith had a girlfriend, first of all. And the minute Jada was like, okay, our marriage pretty much sucked and I was vulnerable and, I got in an entanglement. Everybody's like, oh, that's the new word of 2020, entanglements. She went and cheated. She was married. So I've been watching, Jada be bashed for a whole, 2 weeks now. And I'm so bored because I'm actually disappointed because, I called it a lot of house husbands. That's what I said. I'm not going to say all men are house husbands, but I saw dudes I'm like, you are no Will Smith. How dare you? You have no right to even try to put yourself in these type of situations and try to project your emotions and try to bring down Jada Smith when you like a whole house husband out here. Like, you don't have the income, you still live with your mama. Like, you ain't Jada and Will. So what's going on? So I feel like it's a straight stereotype. I feel like it was unfair the way Jada's being portrayed. I think that she's getting a whole lot of flack and a lot of truths really didn't come out. That's my take on it. I'm gonna go ahead and but Brittany, before we have to defend ourselves, I'm gonna go ahead and let another man take the lead. All right, Courtney or Charles, either one of y'all want to go?
Courtney can go. I think his mic muted, so I go. But I know a CV was coming behind it, so I really didn't get it.
I think he's there. You there, Courtney?
Yeah, he's there. Courtney?
But yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. With the whole thing about taking advantage, I do believe that it was slightly, because mental health in the Black community has been, sometimes we don't express that. So it's like a lion or a lioness seeing a deer in pain, in need of attention and help. You go over there and you portray to be licking on the wounds, killing, and then you bite. So it's no better than a man, me, saying a woman is vulnerable. She's ready to lose a house, car, kids need a place to stay, and I befriend her, let her stay at my place, and then I coerce her into a sexual relationship, even though I'm supposed to be there helping. And it goes against, like, with what I believe. She should have been there to be a peaceful individual to heal this man and not have sex with him. Even though a marriage is on the brink, it's not a divorce being filed. Might be separated, but she's separated under the eyes of the law. And she took herself and put herself in a position to have sex with an individual that she was supposed to be helping. Sex does not help. Sex therapy don't help. It's a real underlying there. The man seems to be attached, hurt, and everything under the sun is like you only made matters worse by giving him some yummy punani. So with that being said, I think she's a little at fault, and he's at fault too for being naive to think she was gonna leave her husband.
Can I just interject real quick?
Sorry, you got the floor.
I just want a quick interjection. The only reason, so could we say that maybe he took advantage of her? Because when a woman is vulnerable, because her husband of 20-something years has moved on, to me, I know plenty of men who would be like, oh, now's the time to strike. And he was 25, 24, 23. They're smart enough at that point to he could have been taking advantage of her too.
Can I say
something? She was in Utah.
Oh, Brittany trying to say something.
Can I just say that I feel that they were both wrong? Can I just say that? Two things can be true.
Yeah.
She was wrong. She was wrong for preying on him, and they were both wrong, as they were both adults. Yes, one older than the other, but they were both wrong because she, as a married woman, number one, first offense. You're separated, but you are still married. Under the contract or whatever you want to call it, you violated. I mean, Will did too. Y'all wrong in that sense. Okay, then you knew he was sick. You knew what it was. And August knew that she was a married woman. He might have believed or wanted to believe that maybe one day she was going to leave that man and they was going to run away together in the field of flowers. But they were both wrong. You don't get in a relationship, and most adults know this, and a lot of people really need to look at themselves and admit, you getting in relationships when you shouldn't be doing it. You ain't emotionally right. They ain't emotionally right. You know it's ugly. The pretenses for the whole setup was wrong to begin with. That's why I say they were both wrong. They knew better. You knew you had a husband, and you knew you didn't have no good intention. She had a husband. I'm not going to say it was good or whatever. They had a marriage, whatever it is, whether it was good or bad. He knew that. He knew that they had children that were around his age. He knew that. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say that because I wouldn't want my little sister messing with no dude that was of the age that Jada was. But I mean, I'll touch on that later though. But I just really feel like they were both wrong. You know when you shouldn't be in a situation, but you do it anyway because it feels good. How many people get caught up in situations like that every single day? It feels good and I want to do it. You know you was wrong, but here we are. And now both of you have used each other. Jada got what she wanted. And I do feel like August got what he wanted. Like you can't tell me that Jada Pinkett was not on a poster on his wall when he was a young man.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. You can't tell me Jada was not on his list of, hey dude, top 5. Let me hear your top 5, G. Let me see.
Yeah.
You know Jada was on there. You know she was.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like they both walked away with something that they wanted, but they paid a price that they didn't really expect to pay.
So, Mr. Williams, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna open the door and hear your insight. What do you think?
Well, personally, do y'all can hear me good?
Yeah.
Okay. Personally, I kind of knew that it was a promo, so I really didn't get into it. You know, I kind of read the memes and laughed at them, and I just think he's an opportunist. So he saw the opportunity, and he can get his name buzzing. So he used that, which he kind of probably exposed her, and she didn't think he was gonna do it like that. But I kind of knew it was a promo move. So I'm kind of like a time person. I like to see time tell all. Mm-hmm. So I sat there and I just watched it. Now he got an album coming out. So. And
did not Will kind of give you that whole like, see what you got yourself into? See what
exactly.
You did? Like, I don't want to talk about it now. See, gone on
control your home.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
My thing about it is this. I think what we're seeing from at least the men in this situation, when I mean by men is like the outsiders commenting on it. Because I was getting my haircut this week, and dude was like, "Oh, women like the gossip too much." I was like, "Men gossip too," and that's what this is. Mm-hmm. These men that are like, "Oh, she was wrong. That's gossip, bro." Like that's what it is. It's not a bad thing. It's only bad if you add that connotation to it for yourself. But what I want to say is, I feel like dudes and some women are looking at the situation and they're mad because in their relationships they don't have the type of communication that Will Smith and Jada Smith have to where we can go down and we can then afterward come to each other, talk to each other. Because I think this is the truth. We can't say what's right or wrong for those two people who are still married. Whatever storm that we're going through, that's how they dealt with it as a team and will continue to deal with it as a team. I think for most people, if that had happened in their relationship, they would have known, oh, that this is it. So to see these two people who don't let that destroy their home, we got to find some fault in it instead of being like, good for them, because a lot of people wouldn't have made it through that. So that's how I look at it. I look at it like that. I look at it like people don't want to, because people want to criticize because it's not traditional. But till death do us part doesn't mean as soon as you cheat, I'm out. That means weather the storm. And I think that's what they did 4 years ago. Now, remember, this was 4 years ago. And now they're in a whole different place. Enough so that little red table talk was for nobody else but us. Because they had already had that conversation in their house. It was for us. It was to show.
That's why Will was fed up.
But it was to show us that, hey, y'all out there who are having troubles in your marriage, there's other options than just throwing in the towel. Figure it out. Find what makes y'all's house tick. What makes y'all's house work.
I agree with that.
Now, my thing is, oh, my bad. Go ahead, Courtney. Go ahead.
I agree. And, coming from experience, communication is key in any relationship and understanding. And again, the healing process may be different from my situation than somebody else's. And right, you shouldn't just give up on something that you took about to uphold, So, I agree with everything you just said. We need to work on it as a people. And I mean, us as a people to communicate with others and feel a little bit better by getting dialogue. And us, first thing we say is we don't have that type of money. We're rich. They got rich people problem, right? But it still goes between me and you, me and him, communication to understand, hey, how was you feeling? What was going on? what could I have done better, and work through it. So I agree. Communication and us. First thing we say is we don't have that type of money. They got rich people problem, right? But that's all I got to say.
So, okay, so here's my question. Does anybody feel like what happened between August and Jada damaged August more or mentally maybe ruined him?
Depends on who you're talking to. Some people would be like that was a power move.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a power move for him.
For
And then
August,
some people are gonna look like me. I'm an empath, so I'm gonna look at that like, dang, he probably really done hurt himself for like the future. Like that's gonna come back and that's gonna haunt him that he stooped that low or did what he did and he felt the need. Like I feel like that's gonna attack his spirit later. So
see, now that's my take on it. I felt like he was like a petty Betty. Like I was like, oh, he's super female. For real, like, oh, he's
say it's a female trait. We should.
I mean, what he did, like, I'm gonna tell everything that happened. I'm gonna give y'all a phone call first and let you know I'm about to expose.
That's a petty trait.
You feel me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
petty trait.
Yeah, okay, petty.
Petty is neither male nor female. It doesn't.
Because men are petty too. Men are petty too. Yes, they are.
No, because like, ain't nobody.
Sorry,
Ain't nobody finna run to give him no types of healing yoni ever. It's over. Like he would never be somebody that's like, all right, we're gonna do this, but keep it hush, because now everybody gonna be like, well, females, because females do it too, like, he's a rat. Like, I can't even mess with you, bro. Like,
as soon as I saw the interview, I got mad because I felt the same thing. It was just so like, I'm maybe it's because I'm a Southerner. Or maybe it's because I'm from an earlier generation, but you do not kiss and tell. You don't kiss and tell.
Yeah.
You don't do that. Especially because it was crazy as I became an adult, that made more sense to me once I actually had sex and realized how intimate of an interaction that really is. Like, know somebody in that way, you know them. You know what I'm saying? So you don't spread that around, even out of respect for them. I'm not the type of person to then, like, even if I fall out with somebody I messed with in the past, I'm not gonna spread your business. That's your business, and we share that. So I feel like for him, it wasn't petty. I feel like it was calculated. I feel like it was about It was that. I think it was him. He wanted to do it to get, because I didn't even. This is the most famous August Alsina has been
in a while.
Even that's why I say it's a power move. That's why I say it's a power move, because anything to get your name buzzed when you in that business. Now, if we at home and we in the town where we from, yeah, that was, you don't do that. But for him to want to be in the spotlight, you do just that. You know what I'm saying? What he did, you do that to get your name buzzing. But like she said, it'll come back to honey. But hey, some of them don't care. They have enough money, they can use a little honey.
I don't think he got enough for all that. I don't think so. But okay,
there are ways to make money. You ever heard that phrase? All money ain't good money.
Yeah,
exactly.
He was a desperate move to get himself buzzing, so we'll buy his album. But I won't be buying it because I'm too busy thinking you're a rat. So,
exactly. And then there's gonna be a lot of people that just want those credentials, like Safari and Nicki Minaj. Everybody saw who Safari was after Nicki Minaj. So now, after he got her under his belt, you could be like, some women are just go just because they said, I slept with the same guy Jada slept with. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
thinking you got the same.
Let's back up for a second.
So where Safari?
Nicki Minaj and Safari right there. What happened?
I do. I'm curious too.
Yeah. What?
Like what I was saying was like Safari. No one knew who he was before Nicki. Like where I did. I don't know. But after that, he kind of still talked to some women. Like I know if the girl he talking to now was to describe him, she'll say, the guy who used to date Nicki. So that's his tag.
I think the thing that made Safari the most famous is Love and Hip Hop. Let me say this why. because I didn't know who he was until Love and Hip Hop. Like when
Exactly.
he came on the show, what I'm saying is like, but he had already had a name, which was the guy Nicki Minaj dated. Have you mentioned him to me as the guy Nicki Minaj dated before Love and Hip Hop? I would have had no clue who you're talking about.
Well,
Exactly.
But then after Love and Hip Hop, say what?
That's not my, maybe not you guys. I guess because I stay a little bit more. I have my little reality TV, little I get into that.
Right.
So for me, I knew that Safari actually built Nicki's career. Like I looked at Safari as the guy who like put his all into the relationship, and when she got famous, she went to Meek Mill and left Safari like, damn, baby, you know what I'm saying? I done wrote your songs. I didn't stood by you. I was with you when you was a nobody. And she pretty much left him high and dry. So that was my introduction to Safari.
Ike and Tina.
Yeah, maybe. So I felt like he was trying to just keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like he got on Love and Hip Hop and was like, all right, like she didn't left me. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta, what now? You know what I'm saying? And next thing you know, I was like, I like Safari. Like he's cool people.
He
like,
cool
yeah.
Because he never once got on that show and trashed her.
Exactly.
Never once got on.
That's how I knew who he was when I watched Love and Hip Hop, and then I saw him and he was kind of like, you know, making the show. So I'm like, who is that? And that's the first thing somebody said. That's the guy who dated Nicki Minaj. So I was like, oh, okay. So that's how I knew who he was. But probably from that, I wouldn't have never knew who he was if I wasn't just watching that show every now and then.
Okay, Courtney, you got any pieces you want to move? Where we going to? We're gonna move on to the next topic. So I think overall, I think we all kind of, Courtney feels that Jada kind of took advantage somewhat. I think the rest of us are kind of saying maybe August is more of an opportunist, especially with this new album that I'm not gonna buy. So,
you know, this is basically his version of Lemonade. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, like no, straight up no.
Like I say again, you know, with the mental situation, the mental health, like yeah, it's kind of slightly. You know, both to the advantage. I agree with young lady up there. I think your name, I apologize, but you know, yeah, it's kind of both on both ends. You know, she wrong. He knew better. He knew better. You know, somebody gonna leave your husband, but kids for you, you a 25-year-old stepdad, nah. You know, but you know, other than that, again, I have no more on the topic.
Okay. All right. Well, before we shoot into another one, I'm gonna just shoot into one more and kind of keep it rolling. So I ain't even got nothing to say. All I'm gonna say on this one is Tory Lanez shot Meg Thee Stallion in the foot. Now,
what an intro! What a segue!
Tell me what happened in that truck, because I don't know. I heard she was just trying to leave, and he was like,
in the statement, she didn't say that he shot her though. She said that someone was trying to make a threat towards her life in shooting that gun. She didn't say Tory Lanez.
Right, because what I read was, and I read a little bit. I read that they were at a party, tried to leave the party, and that Tory Lanez was shooting in the air. So I think the way it sounds to me is probably whoever was messing with Megan, he was trying to let them know, hey, you know, I got a pistol too. They can't arrest him for that, especially if the gun wasn't legal. But you have to look at his charges. What are his charges? And that'll tell you whether he shot her or not, in my opinion.
let's see. I'm kind of looking it up as you guys talk. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all keep elaborating. I'm going to try to find some articles. I saw a couple of articles that stated she admitted that she was shot in the foot. I even thought I saw maybe a Twitter or something where it was like, everybody's talking, but this is my life and I'm traumatized. So I don't know if he shot in the foot on accident. Like, you know, I don't know if we'll ever get the truth, but I'm going to try to see if I can like find some articles that can
he probably got a CD coming out.
Wow. The worst kind of promo. The worst. No, man.
I have comments. I think for me, first of all, the first and foremost thing I'm going to say is I'm very upset that this happened to her, because I think She to me is a breath of fresh air in every way. She's super like that song Savage describes her perfectly. She is very much ratchet and classy. And I didn't feel those two things were possible to coexist. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
She's like very
sophisticated.
I was watching this interview of her, and you know, she was just at home with her dog in a raggedy ass t-shirt. Beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful girl. And she was talking about how she's in school for nursing. Still she's in school for nursing. And so she's taking money that she gets from her career and going to build medical facilities, not only for the people who are patients, but also because she said it's really hard in her industry because nobody wants to hire you till you have experience, but you have to get hired to have experience. So she's going to open these clinics for her friends in college so they can have jobs when they get out of school. Like the thought, the consideration for other people, and her career was clearly doing this. It was clearly doing that. And it's crazy because now this happened to her foot. And I'm just like, I hope she's able to continue performing because she's a great life.
She's a soldier.
And I just wish her all the best because she was a positive image and perspective of a Black woman and a Black person and an American because she was so loving, so caring, so open to other people that looked like her, that didn't look like her. I just think she was a testament to what it means to be a good person.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna read this little article right quick. But Courtney is who I want to talk to, because Courtney, I feel like we talked about it on Facebook. Like I felt like we was meeting each other spiritually. Like he was where I was at with it. Like what you put out and what you present yourself as, what you manifest is what you get. So Megan's been on that real hot girl shit. You get shot in the foot, is it though? No, it's not. So I'm gonna read this article real quick, and then I want Courtney to pick up and kind of just give, and then from there, y'all, I'm gonna let Brittany and Charles and y'all we just roll from there. But this is a statement that I read from Billboard.com, and this is a statement from Meg Thee Stallion. On Sunday morning, I suffered a gunshot wound as a result of a crime that was committed against me and done with the intention to physically harm me, she wrote in a public note. I was never arrested. The police officers drove me to the hospital where I underwent surgery to remove the bullets. I'm incredibly grateful to be alive and that I am expected to make a full recovery. But it was important for me to clarify the details of this traumatic night. So.
But she didn't press charges, though.
She has not, but it's saying that people issue warnings to her against Lane. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of let's see, what was it? A dispute. She was trying to leave the truck. I'm kind of scrolling through the article because I don't want to keep going, but it's like it says Tory fired shots from within the vehicle while Megan was outside trying to leave. There's a video and police are investigating. This is a case of a man physically harming and abusing a woman. Courtney, can you please?
Oh my God, that's right here. It's like, to me, like I said, being a spiritual individual, you gotta be mindful what you project out, because what you project out comes back in. Now, not saying her music, but her verbiage in that music kind of plays into, reality. You just dropped a song with the Eazy-E, Real Hot Girls. No, I don't know the song, but that you read it like, it's okay to make clean music that's a listen, but when you again project that image of who you are born to be, it kind of comes back tenfold on you. It's like you have to be mindful because the Bible always says that your tongue is a powerful tool, like a double-edged sword, right? So you kind of watch what you say, because you put it out and it came back. You put yourself in those situations to where doing ratchet shit. Excuse me, my French, but you're doing ratchet things, and it became a reality. It just stuck there with reality. You got shot in the foot. You can't support no more. It's better.
Remember,
yeah,
he was a savage. Classy, Gucci, ratchet.
But she's talking about savagery. Megan Thee Stallion's music I would not consider that thug or gangster music. Like she makes a comment every once in a while that she'll drag somebody, but most of her music is about being raunchy and being like,
and it's in that environment to me. It's like I don't say I'm a thug. I don't say I'm gonna kill you because I'm not. If me knowing I do music, me knowing what again put on and those ways that you putting out, if they're negative, even though you might not be a gangster, 10 out of 10 half these rappers out here talking about drugs, guns, and women. I've seen some people in Houston and they don't smoke, they don't drink, they ain't got no guns.
right?
They wind up being in a situation where
Because of their rap.
gun, pull it out. Yeah, you got this. So when I come up on you, you told me you're gonna shoot me if I snatch a chain, and then you wind up getting shot. It's a lot of rappers like I say.
I just don't.
See them personally in places. So it's the image that you're putting out is the image that you receive, positive and negative, push and pull. What you throw out, you get back. That's my take on it. Just be mindful what to say because you never know how it's gonna come back. Just like we were talking earlier about August, he put that bad image. He's gonna receive that bad back because it wasn't positive in what he did. Not that he was wrong because he's a part of it too, but be careful what you put out because what you put out you will get back. And that's my take on it.
All right, Miss Doolin and Charles, either one of y'all want to go?
Look, like, I mean, I can understand where that words hold a lot of power. They do. I've always believed that. I believe that I do have some issues with, certain type of music and the images or the stories that they tell or like to repeat because it's not always a positive thing. Sometimes though, I don't know. I feel like it's all in what you take from the music though, like too, because like, I mean, look at the Snowman, Jeezy the Snowman, like he is a full on like daddy sending kids to college, like perfecting his craft and turning into a bit like, so I can't necessarily say that, you're going to get all of that back that you're putting out. It depends on, also the images that you also, you push with that. And he's pushing the fact that he's so I don't know, Megan, if she really was really asking for it by like letting that be her constant speech. Like, I just feel like sometimes things happen, like, and it may, I don't even know we don't even know really what the true story is. Like, so to me, it's really hard to draw a conclusive opinion on something like this because honestly, I feel like it could have been the case. We can all speculate. That's all we can do. We could say that Tory got into it with somebody and they were shooting at the car and he was trying to fire back and accidentally shot Megan, or he got into it with Megan. He tried to shoot her. She, fought him down and he accidentally shot her in the foot instead of actually wounding her in a major body organ or something like that. Like, we don't know the story. We don't know what happened. So I really can't draw a conclusive opinion. I really just want to say that I feel like gun violence is just like, there's too much. That's the issue. That's the whole issue of the whole article. Like, the guns, like, and the amount of guns and why we have them with us all the time. And, oh, Lord.
What?
Did I mess up? Can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. And I just had, a close family friend, just to add to this. This is what I drew from the story. I had a close family friend that recently went away from here off of an innocent accident. Like, it was an accident. Somebody was showing a weapon and something happened. Like, it was a pure accident. Nobody was trying to hurt anybody. It just happened. I think the amount of guns that we have on the streets and that are riding around with folks, and a lot of folks, we talked about this last week, who really don't know what they're doing with guns. There's really no telling what happened in that car. We don't know until the full story comes out. I pray that Megan, look, I saw the video. Megan walked up out that car with that bullet in her foot, okay? She gonna be all right. She gonna be all right.
Okay. I'm gonna speak on some stuff real quick, then I'm gonna just pass the mic to either Charles or Duryea to kind of go from there. So here's my thing. When you mentioned what I took from the Jeezy the Snowman. So when Jeezy came out, the way I took his rap lyrics was a way that he was telling a story of his life and things that he had gone through before he got to where he is now.
Yeah.
How I look at Meg Thee Stallion, I feel like she's portraying an image that's not her. Actually, Duryea, Meg Thee Stallion is going to school for healthcare administration. The reason why I know that is because I'm going to school for healthcare administration. I should be finishing this year. So she want to own some nursing homes. You know what I'm saying? So do I, girl. I want to own some nursing homes. So with that being said, like, this is a woman of intellect. That's how I look at her. I look at her. You have brains.
But you can be both. Look at me. Look at me. Now, Stephanie, you know.
And you, out of all people, Stephanie, should know that you can be a woman of intellect and be from the streets.
But on the flip side, I also know that there's a price
like a shootout. Okay.
There's a price to pay for a certain lifestyle that you live. And you have to eventually make a choice because the two really don't go together. You can't be, I do that. I can't be a healthcare administrator and still out here slapping females. You know what I'm saying? I knew I was going to do it.
Isn't every rapper ever, when you look at Ice Cube, wasn't he a literal in the streets like that? Dude who's not doing that no more. Look at freaking Jay-Z. Half of the rappers that came up when we was young were real live, doing the stuff they talk about in music. But then once they got to a certain level of success, they realized, oh, I can't be out here in them streets because then I'll lose all this wonderful, the lives that I've built for my children. So I just think she's young too. You have to realize she grew up at a time where, I'm sorry, I definitely cut you off. Go ahead, Stephanie.
I'm gonna just say this part. I'm gonna let you finish. I also look at it like this. She's branding herself in a way she does not have to. She is a very pretty girl. She is, to me, I think she's lyrically dope. Like, she's talented. So I look at her, I'm like, man, she's dope. Like, she can rap. She's in college. Like, she can go out there and really show people like hey, you could be hard, you could be, you know, you could rap, you could go to school, you can hold business. I look at the boss side of stuff till I get on her IG, and then it's like, oh, she's twerking again. Her booty hole's out again. So I feel like she's branding herself like I just feel like it gets like, I don't feel like any real men. I feel like she's vibrating herself lower than who she is. That's what I was gonna say. So most people said Ice-T was a pimp, and I was like, yeah, he was a pimp. He wasn't a gangster. He was a pimp. He was.
I said Q. I said Q.
And he married Coco. I
say T or Q. I don't know which one I said.
Q. You said Q.
So I'm looking at men.
Ice-T was a pimp.
Did you say Q?
But.
I thought he said T, because I said the same thing. Like,
it don't matter. My point is, they were both in that life, and then once they figured out that it was more productive to make changes, they don't. But then what's also good about men like them is they don't try to hide the fact that they were living one way and changed up. And it's not, I only say changed up because we put such a negative connotation to that. I say evolved, grew up, became an adult, and prioritized things like their children and their wives before they prioritize the streets. And when you really talk to most of these dudes, the reason they were in the street was for money, not because they just wanted to be there. They had to put food on somebody's table, had to put somebody in diapers. So then once that became no longer a necessity, what were they going to continue doing that for? Now, Megan Thee Stallion, but say, like, I don't feel like she was in a position this weekend that put her I don't feel like she was in a position to be in a situation where there were guns. She was in Beverly Hills, in the hills, in somebody's mansion. So it's not like she wasn't like she was in Compton or in freaking Watts. She was chilling, having a good time, living her life. And I do agree. I forget who said it, with the idea that the issue that we do is we in this country, not just as Black people, we promote guns way more than we should. Most people who have guns don't train with it. They don't go to the range. They don't know. They're not taught to shoot people in the leg. Well, maybe somebody was trying to shoot her in the leg, but they weren't taught to shoot people in places that disarm them. They were taught they weren't taught anything. So I feel like it's part of our entire culture as Americans, because when you talk to people who are not American, they look at us like, it's crazy. Y'all buy guns like we buy cigarettes. And they think that's weird. They think that's weird that it's so easy to go to a place and get a gun. So as far as her though, I think that she has I think she knows what she's doing musically. She knows her audience.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're selling, and when you're selling anything, even the news station knows their audience. You have to know your audience. You have to give your audience what they want. But I think part of that is her persona. I'm gonna bring up Beyonce for 2 seconds. The thing about Beyonce that's dope is she made it very apparent that it's okay to be sexually awakened and not be a hoe. Mm-hmm. Beyonce has always been very, I want to say, skimpy with her outfits. But you never associate her with being a hoe. Why? She showed everybody that you can have mastery over your sex while still being a classy person. I think the way Megan Thee Stallion presents herself is hard because we're not used to women really owning their sexuality in that way without being considered a hoe. But she put herself as the pimp. I be pimping these dudes. He think he a player. He the member on the team. This is, and I think that's what's weird about it.
Too bad relationship. Well, we'll just put one down. Then we'll just go back to when she was dating Moneybagg Yo. That's what we'll
I don't know who that is.
That you don't know who Moneybagg Yo is?
I know. You know I don't know.
Oh my God. So
I don't know who any of these people are. I really don't. I'm giving opinions based off of what Facebook has told me, to be honest with you, because I don't know these people.
Who just went and bought that RE girl, the Lamborghini, and everybody was making a big deal.
I know.
She dated him too, and they ended kind of tragically. Tory Lanez, we're gonna leave it in the air. I say they was messing around.
It's probably because she's in school to be a health administrator. That's why.
What do you
mean?
It's
no, but it's more so like I look at it as she's over sexualizing herself. And if we want to talk about the music industry, look at where it got Trina and Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown and all the other rappers who have over sexualized themselves and their persona, you know what I'm saying, in the music industry. So I'm just looking at it long term. I ain't heard about nothing about Trina getting married. I ain't heard nothing about Foxy Brown getting married. I ain't heard nothing about Lil' Kim being white
up. You're saying that people who push that whole mentality can't get married?
I'm saying if you push a hoe mentality, that men eventually gonna be like, oh, she's a hoe. So what you get is,
I think those people that you
that's always like trying to just.
I think those people you just named aren't married because men are afraid to marry them, not because they're hoes. I think men, not all men, but some men are put off by women who can buy them. You feel me? And
it's also true.
And it's not only that they can buy them, and everywhere y'all go from here on out, I'm gonna be more popular than you in that room. Because I don't think they're gonna marry a celebrity. They don't seem like that type to me. But that's just my opinion.
All right, Charles, you've been awfully quiet. Go ahead and jump on in there and throw some opinion on out there for us about this topic.
I really didn't look too much into that one. Like I said, I like time to tell. So, like I said, a CD will drop soon. This the first commercial. So that's all I really can say about it. But like when y'all was talking about how people change over time, it's like when your life change, your language will change. So some of the rappers that's rapping about in the streets and some of the clubs they went to, some of those clubs tore down and there's a new club and they ain't been there, so they can't talk about it no more. You got to leave it to the youngest. You know, and the youngins gonna come out with the new club and the new shoes and the new dance and all that stuff. So Master P and them, all them have to go to the next thing. They have to start school you on something else because they ain't in the alley no more. You know, so that's how I look at music changing. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I guess from what I'm taking out of it, we pretty much chunking it up that she just young, she living her life, she got shot in the foot, she'll be all right.
She'll make
time to tell.
Yeah,
but apparently,
almost doing horse.
All right, we're gonna move on from Meg. Then, if that's the case, she's shot in the foot. I'm concerned, but she'll be all right. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and open. Yeah, we're gonna. But I'm gonna keep her in my press though. Because real talk, man, being shot in the foot ain't cool. I ain't never been shot before, and I don't want to be shot. But she does have to dance on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be pretty. Like, she's gonna have to do a little rehab to be able to dance and stand and walk and rap and be in heels. So, I mean,
she be twerking on that. She be twerking on her. You know how to see when she get real low.
Yeah, let's see when she got that twerk foot when she one foot up when she twerk down. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and just open up the door and like I'm gonna go ahead and start with maybe Brittany. You want to go ahead and jump into some topics that you saw that you want to go over, or you want to discuss on here?
Yeah, it actually ties into a little bit of the August and Jada situation. So my topic for today is about the double standards with sexuality when it refers to young people, children. So here's just my I guess intro to it is kind of like I have a son and I have a daughter. And I have had like family members or friends, tell me how like, oh, little sexy boy, he's so sexy, he's fine, he this, he that. And it's like, if somebody said that to my daughter, yo, like, why don't I feel the same? Why am I not so alarmed? Or I feel alarmed or something like kind of perks up in me, but then it's like, okay, they didn't mean anything by it. But if it was my daughter, it's like automatically, we're going to jump on that. That ain't right. You're not about to tell no little 7-year-old she's sexy. Like, you're not gonna say that's my girlfriend. Like, that's you about to get beat up really bad. Like, and I just, I just feel like the young men are over like sexualized sometimes to the point where I made a comment to a coworker, her sons that came in, one middle school, one high school, and I told her she had some fine young men. And I'm speaking to her in the sense of what I thought most normal people would think, like, you have really fine young men. You've done a good job. You parented well. Like, I can see your results and your seeds. You know what I'm saying? That's not how she took it. She kind of took it as like, like they look delectable. You got some fine young men. Like, no, I'm not. And it made me feel some type of way. Like, why is that what you're expecting? You know what I'm saying? Or thinking that I'm trying to say or portray about your children. I don't think that way about children because I am attracted to grown men. Like, I don't know. And I feel like there's a over sexuality that is happening for our young men. And it's just a double standard because we wouldn't let these things happen in normal settings to young girls. So I just want to hear, I'm glad there's so many men here because I would like your input on that. Blink, blink.
Don't be, yeah, anybody.
Charles?
Yeah. 505.
Let's see.
How would you feel if a woman
Okay.
was like, "Oh, your son's is sexy"? Like, how would you feel? I wouldn't. I ain't with it. But how would you feel as a father? Like,
Yeah. Well, I probably will explain to them. Can y'all hear me clear? I am not breaking up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. So me personally, I would probably explain to my sons what she was talking about. I wouldn't really jump straight to a conclusion right then in front of them because I'm still being an example for them.
Mhm.
But I do see a lot of boys, getting it'd be almost like you're leading them the wrong way too, because
Exactly.
you can hear a lot of people say, my boy gonna have all the girls and this,
Yeah.
and you're putting that in his head. So when he get up,
Mhm.
he want all the girls. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? Because that's what he's been saying the whole time, and sometimes we can be training a child and we can just be
Grooming.
playing and just be
Grooming.
joking.
That's how.
Yes, grooming them. You can be grooming them and not even knowing it. But you mean well what you're saying, but you just trying to give them confidence and stuff like that. But the same thing that can make you good, it can break you too. That's going on a lot with our young boys.
okay, say
Yeah.
that, Courtney. Yeah.
Well, I come up with this is a touchy subject because, um, you know, people, grown adults that are that face a sickness, they tend to actually prey on kids as well. So maybe the woman might have had a situation to where it was her at one point when she was a child, or somebody tried to approach her in a manner towards that child by saying they was fine, and 10 out of 10 it could have been a relative. And you know, having a child myself at 7, I fear every day because he goes to a Catholic school. And we all heard the stories about the Catholic priests and all that stuff. So it's like, to know that a grown man or a grown woman fantasize about a kid or is sexually attracted to a kid, and you're going to take those comments towards your child as something that is ill-mannered. Because we always got to be on the fence, because they are the innocents, and we can't be there all the time for them, and it be an adult that are taking advantage. So I don't like, even if it's my kinfolk, telling my son he's handsome or he's a cutie pie. No, he's not a grown man. He's not a teenager of age. He's a child. Now, don't give me that dialogue, because I don't trust anybody with my kids. And the state you don't even know him, I can't accept that comment or that gesture of saying that he is a handsome young man. You can tell me he looks like you, and you're handsome, and okay, cool. But don't refer to my child as handsome or cute or whatever, because I don't know how you come in. I don't know the mindset that you have when you tell my kid that. Don't call him your boyfriend or your husband. None of that.
Right.
Because now,
boyfriend. Yeah.
Don't do that. Cousins,
right.
family, friends, or whatever. Don't do that. I'm gonna get highly upset, and I'm gonna take it a place. I'm gonna put it to the side. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that, because I can't trust you around him, because I'm thinking you might do something.
Yeah.
And I don't always feel that that's the case. Like, but I do feel like it's something that has, just like racism has crept into some white folks, where they don't even have to be overtly racist to be a part of the racism. I feel like this is the same type of thing. They're not normal. It's not okay, but somehow it has crept into society, where a lot of people, they feel as if this is something that you can say, this is something that you can do. And I don't necessarily feel like they're all predators, but why do you feel that it's okay to, comment on a child's appeal like that?
I have a comment really quick.
All right,
it's not a quick comment, actually. So it's a few things. First of all, I think it's a very loaded question, because there's so many perspectives and truths that we have to accept. First of all, I come at most situations like I'm an actor. So the reason I stress that is because whenever I see human behavior that I don't understand, instead of condemning it, I ask why. And that's being an actor. That's what they teach you. You ask why first. So when I see something that I don't agree with or understand, even I might still know why, and doesn't mean I have to agree with it. I just now understand why that happens. When you talk about this, you have to realize less than 100 years ago, we were marrying off 14-year-old girls to 30-year-old. And it was not, and back then it was seen as normal. So there's no such thing as normal. Normal's not real. What's normal is that everybody's different. So, and I'm not at all condoning the over-sexualization of children. What I'm saying that is to say, why is it that we look at, why do we think that's okay? Because it's twofold. If a child is never told that they're beautiful, that hurts too.
Yeah.
I was watching this video of this little girl. Her mom was doing her hair, and she looked and said, "Mama, I'm so ugly." And the woman had to then tell her how beautiful she was. And this was like a 4 or 5-year-old girl. She was dark black. So that's my thing, is like, it's a balance. You have to balance between making sure that child knows that they're beautiful and then not over sexualizing them. And I think that sometimes that line gets blurred. I think some women, when they tell a kid that they're handsome, some men, when they say, "Oh, that's a cute little, your daughter's a cute baby," I don't think that they mean it in no
I don't think that
type of way. But it's a line, because as a parent, like the two parents said, I don't even want you to say that to my kid, which is that line that I'm talking about. So I feel like when you look at these situations, as a parent, you got to be keen on being able to tell the difference. I'm assuming, because once you know the difference, you know how to navigate it. But as far as a whole, I think that it just comes down to these are the conversations we need to be having had, because like I said, at one point we were marrying off children to adults, and that wasn't cool, and that's part of our history. Now we have a history, and there is a double standard, but there's double standards everywhere. That's why I try to be a proponent of removing those double standards. Point in case, earlier in this discussion, when the petty thing came up, you know what I'm saying? No, petty is not a female trait, because when you teach people that when men are petty, we then insult them by calling them women, which then the underlying insinuation is that women are less than men. So I just try to remove that from my own vocabulary. Because that's the only way I can really help. I can tell Stephanie every day until my eyes turn blue to do something, and she's not going to do it until she decides to. So what I can manage is how I act. And that's all.
Now, I'm gonna say I'm gonna put my little pinch in right quick, because I think me and Charles probably leading here in the kid pack. So you got boys, I got a good little mixture going on.
Yeah, I got 3 boys and 2 girls.
Oh, okay. You got a little bit more of a mixture than me, but with my with boys, I've always been the type of woman that says adorable. Oh, he's so adorable, or something like that. But with my own daughter, because I'm very aware and conscious of the need of sometimes girls needing validation, it starts with us parents. So I am one to tell my daughter, I think that you're beautiful, and you don't need anybody else to tell you that you're beautiful. Now, if they do, I don't want you to get so used to it that you're like, I know, because I was kind of like one of those little girls, and I'm not trying to be arrogant, but people go, oh, your hair's so long to be chocolate, or oh, you're pretty to be, chocolate, whatever. And after a while, I'll be like, yeah, I know. Now, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I meant it more so like, I know I hear it all the time. But my grandmother corrected me, and it was like, no, you don't do that. You just say thank you, and you keep going. So with my daughter, though, I see women like that. I think that's how we end up with the girls that are the IG models. That I mean, everybody, whatever floats your boat. If that's what you want to do, if you want to, fans only, you want to, get on Instagram and get on the sink with your booty cheeks. So but if that's what you do, that's what you do. But I think it kind of stems back to that lack of validation. That's my opinion, because that's why I constantly try. I don't need my daughter to feel like she needs a man to tell her she's beautiful for her to feel whole as a person. I don't want her to feel like Instagram likes or Facebook likes is going to validate her as a woman. You got that right here with us. We're telling you now that you're beautiful. I'm telling you now that you're smart. You don't need to hear it from anybody else but me and your father. As long as we letting you know that you the bomb, you believe that and roll with it. You know what I'm saying? So I constantly try to push positivity. You can do anything, baby. You know what I'm saying? I give compliments constantly to myself. You're so smart. You're very intellectual. You're going to probably be a weatherman. You're going to probably be, if you want to be a police officer, you probably make a very good police officer. Or on the internet. Huh?
I prefer those type of comments. Like I'm all towards that. Like, I don't want you, like, even if it is innocent too, like, I don't really want you to constantly commenting on my child's physical appearance, because that is something that can be taken from us. You know what I'm saying? I want you to, like, you're kind, or you nice, or you're a good listener, or you know what I'm saying? Like, those are the things that I feel like those are greater compliments to give a person. I really feel like I even know personally for myself, like, that was the reason that me and my husband, I tell him all the time, that was the reason that me and my husband, became so close, because he wasn't so focused on something that I can do for him sexually. You know what I'm saying? Like, that wasn't, I mean, of course, every 17-year-old boy, I mean, that's on the brain, but that's not what he led with. And I think that a lot of interactions with young folks, I feel like sometimes we're kind of steering them in the wrong direction because of the comments that we give to them. It's like us as adults, like, we provide the example on how you're going to interact. So if I'm constantly, like, a young man, every time he meets one of my female friends, all he hears is how sexy he is. Ooh, you got that fresh lineup. You so handsome. Be my boyfriend. It's little things like that. I think those little subtle things over time, they kind of like sit in your psyche. And I do feel like, even though they might have been innocent, I do feel like a lot of young men, it's like almost like a a rite of passage when you start, getting older, you getting all the girls and you doing all of this and you doing all of that. You hot, you fast, you desirable and stuff like that. And I feel like there's so much more than that. There is so much more to a person than what they can do sexually. And I feel like those comments kind of lead to a thought that that's important.
But that comes with toxic masculinity and this push that we have, especially in our community. I think, which is another thing that is enforced by white supremacy, but Black people have picked it up. So you, as a man, the worst thing you can do is be anything feminine, which we don't realize then associates femininity with negativity. Because how can a boy who's raised by a woman and a man not have feminine and masculine traits? Or we then associate if they're feeling sad too often, you need to man up.
Yep.
Because men don't feel. So then men develop a negative relationship with their feelings. Right. And as Black people, we already have a strained relationship with mental health. All right, there we go. A strained relationship with mental health. So it's difficult that we keep pushing these thoughts and actions of we need you to do this and not be so feminine or not be so emotional or pet these things, and we don't even realize when we do and say them because they've been ingrained into us and we've been conditioned to do them. So I think that we need to start promoting a self-awareness in our children. Be connected with yourself. Be connected with yourself in a way that then you know how you feel and it's okay. You don't go to war with yourself in your head. So that's just what I want to say about that. And it kind of actually pertains to, I think, something else. Go ahead. I had a note, but I lost it.
Okay, I was gonna just jump in there real quick before we move on and speak on the sexy part. I don't think any grown person should be calling anybody's kid sexy. I don't know about that, period. I think that's weird and that ain't me. But what I also wanted to go into is that even when dating, and this goes into a little bit older for ladies and for women, you have to be very cognitive of what you hear. So you know how you kind of spoke on, Brittany, about how your husband didn't lead with that. When I was kind of taught, like, if you hear, hey, sexy, hey, sexy, hey, sexy, he's telling you what he wants. He's telling you he thinks you sexy. He's not speaking to you and saying, I think you're beautiful. I think your heart's kind. I respect. I think I love your mind. I love your intellect. If he's, hey, baby, hey, sexy, he wants sex. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of women, they get that confused, and then they feel like they're not validated unless they are sexy. You know what I'm saying? Because you think that you're not of standard, or you know what I'm saying? You're not of standard, or you're not good enough unless everybody thinks you're sexy. So that's kind of what I think. Now, I don't know. I ain't never heard nobody call my kids sexy, because I don't know. If you say that to my kids, I'm gonna probably look at you kind of weird. You know what I'm saying? But I've heard like, it's my little boyfriend. Like, I've heard that. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, I probably didn't like shrug that off before, like, whatever. But like, the more we kind of go into this conversation, I'm kind of like feeling a certain type of way now, of course. But I don't think as adults that's normal. And I don't even think, like, I think telling it to kids is not normal, but I think also as adults is feeding into our vulnerabilities and our self-esteem. So to me, you have to be very cognitive of what you hear and what people are saying to you, which is kind of what I go back with Meg Thee Stallion and just her over-sexualizing. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to be sexy. Like, there's so much more than just that. You know what I'm saying? Like, show me what you working with, you know what I'm saying? Show me how you handle money. Hey, you may not be a sexy person. What happens when you're not appealing? What happens when you just know you're not sexy? You got to have another trait or another quality about you that stands out. You know what I'm saying? You got to have something. So I'm gonna shut that on down. All I'm saying is, if you grown out here calling kids sexy, you probably need to stop, because I don't know what that's about.
Stop that.
I don't even know what that's about. Like, don't do that. Like, that's weird. So I'm gonna go ahead and open up the door for maybe Charles. Charles, did you have? I'm sorry.
Hey, Charles, he can go. Look, I talk a lot. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, go ahead and open up a topic or anything that you wanted to talk about.
Well, basically, that was like a good topic. I'm always on the kids, and trying to. I feel like a parent should balance their child. You know what I'm saying? Because I tell mine all the time. Sometimes you can be too happy and too excited and run into something, and sometimes you can be not happy enough and run into something. Sometimes somebody, like, say for instance, someone win the lotto and they just get so excited and they just run out. Oh, I won, and they run out and go out and they just do some of everything they wanted to do, and they can kill themselves just by getting too excited. So sometimes you have to be people's balance. That's when you come in and you coexist. You coexist with people and you tell them, hold up, just sit down, wait for a minute. What you gonna do with it? Make people think about it. Like with my kids, when we're out and if something happen like that, if somebody say something they don't understand, then it's up to me to explain it. Sometimes I have to get the adult straight, but sometimes I'm like, I want y'all to know how to handle this, if I'm not around. So I'd be like, don't take that as this, boom, boom, boom. And sometimes I like to hear what they say. Sometimes we as parents, we preach so much at the children, they start to trying to identify with us. And when they identify with us, they can't be themselves. And that's a problem with a lot of adults now. They're still trying to identify with their parents. Their parents got a hold over their mind. Sometimes the school will mold them in a certain way, but the parents can be overbearing too, and sometimes it's just good to listen to the child and balance them out. You go and talk to them about, they can be just like saying something so minimum. And when you hear it, you magnify whatever they said, but they don't even mean it like that because they got an innocent mind. Our minds have been robbed of our innocence. So when we hear, like, sometimes the word sex, and they done made that a good word, I believe at a point of time, a long time ago, sex probably would have offended some people. You know what I'm saying? Because it is a tense of sex. It's sex, sexy. You know what I'm saying? So you couldn't just say that to anybody. But now with our rapping and the music and stuff, just like now, like when they call guys thugs, look at those thugs, this, and we get real mad. But at the same time, everybody was tearing Thug Life on them. I love Tupac Thug Life CD and what is not Trick That Baby, cause I'm a thug. That's all I was saying. I'm a thug. Now, so when they take it and they switch it on us, we get mad. So now I told people on my Facebook page, I said, be ready, in about 10 years, they're going to start calling us, look at them savages, because savage is the word now, and we're going to get mad. Look at it, they calling us savages, you know what I'm saying?
Bring it full time.
It's backwards.
It's true. Okay, Duryea?
This is where I get to talk about the topic that I brought to the table.
Yes, it's your turn. Let's go.
I have several topics, and I don't know which one.
I know he got some good.
I got like several. I just don't know which ones to discuss. One of them's ripped from the headlines, the other's not. Which one should I go with?
Whichever's on your heart, my friend.
Whatever on your spirit. Go with your spirit.
Whatever's on you.
I want to talk about Nick Cannon.
Okay.
Yes.
I want to talk about.
Hoping somebody would talk about that.
The only reason I was married to talk about it was because we talked about it on Talk It Out this week, but this is a whole different audience base. So I want to talk about Nick Cannon because I feel so many ways about this.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Because I get what he was saying, but I feel I'm a strong proponent of when you represent something other than yourself, you need to watch what you say. And I'm also a big proponent of separating business and personal. So I feel like what he did in that aspect was absolutely wrong. He made comments that clearly could be deemed as racist, and he did it while knowing he was a face for that company. and that company had to do what it had to do to dissociate itself with what he said. And then, Charlamagne the God came out recently and said, oh, that shows you the Jews have power. Everybody knows Jewish people got power. We ain't stupid. But that doesn't then condone hate speech. And that's the thing about it. Hate speech is not condoned. So what we have to do is take responsibility for ourselves. So at the end of the day, I feel like he should not have said what he said. I feel like also But there's positives in this situation anyway. I was talking to Stephanie about it, and what I think is beautiful is he's got a great team around him. Like, I don't think he's gonna hurt for long for this. And I see where his intent was. You feel me? Like, he was just speaking what he speaks. He went a little overboard, and he didn't. And when the other guy in that interview, he went, in my opinion, he went way overboard. And instead of expressing his own personal, I don't believe that much. But like, if me and Stephanie got on this panel right now and she says I'm unbelievable, like, I don't agree with you with that. And that's all he really had to say. But that wasn't true. But my point is, if you don't make that statement, like, I don't agree, and then when people say, hey, you should maybe apologize for that podcast, and then you're like, nah, I mean, it was what it was. Okay, now you don't have that money. And now he then retracted his statement. But after he retracted the statement, that is what I understand to have, in my opinion, that's what saved his job at Fox. But why didn't you retract it earlier, bro? We have to, as people, we have to stop thinking that because we are something that we can't be something else. What I mean is, just because we are oppressed does not mean that we can't be oppressive. We all, as a human being, we all have privilege at some point, whether it's male privilege, whether it's female privilege, whether it's financial privilege. We all have privilege at some point. So when we then use that privilege to stand over someone, then at the end of the day, we have to then make sure that we're calling ourselves out for doing that because it's wrong. Go ahead.
Right. So I got a comment here. So Courtney says, I'm a Hebrew tribe of Judah. So when he made that comment, how did you feel? Did you feel offended? Did you feel he wasn't talking about you? What did you take from?
I don't think that comment has anything to do. I don't think there's anything wrong with that comment. Nothing.
Well, with Courtney, because Courtney's texting now. He's like, look, he spoke the truth. He spoke the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, real quick, my take, and I'm gonna just pass it along to Brittany and Charles. I think that he was trying to be as intellectual as possible. I don't think that he meant it. Yeah, Nick, I don't think that he meant it to be offensive as much as he was just stating what he has studied and researched. But I think that he wasn't thinking about the backlash. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't thinking that they would literally rip like him off the air. And so his comments is what we call in-house comments.
But you realize he recorded that interview last year. And he just now decided to put it out. So that then removes, like, if something happened right now on this broadcast and it's live and it's like, oh, well, but that seems a little bit intentional and premeditated. You recorded it a year ago. You feel me? Now, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with the thought process that Black people are the original Jews. He's not the only person that's ever said that. That's not a new concept.
Who posted it?
Huh?
Who posted it? Did Nick post it? Did Nick post it or the interviewer?
It's on his YouTube channel, which was taken down.
Okay.
And that's my only thing about it. I feel like he's a good, kind-hearted dude. I feel like when you're speaking, you have to be careful, especially when you're standing up for yourself. You still need to be careful about, and it sucks to say that because some people are like, oh, we don't need to be careful. We've been so hurt in the past. You're right. We have been hurt in the past. That doesn't mean that we should then start hurting people because then we would just be like the people that we're trying to be different from. So I feel like go ahead.
I was just thinking, I think that regardless, he recorded a year. I just think what he really did was like damaging because not only did he rip like some money out of his pocket, but like he's a pillar. He, like we were talking, like he put people on. He's given a lot of people an opportunity that they did not have. I would not know who Chico Bean is or Carlos Miller, or I would not know who B. Simone is. I wouldn't know who they were if it weren't for Nick Cannon. But because of Nick Cannon, like I love me some B. Simone, like DC Young Fly. We were, everybody knows him from when he was just like roasting on the internet. He was like roasting people on YouTube, but that now he's doing music videos, he's been in movies, you know what I'm saying? Like him, Carlos Miller, and Chico Bean, they were able to take off and do the 85 South tour. Like I've been to that. Like B. Simone has like a makeup line. You know what I'm saying? Like these are people that were able to. Justine Valentine, but I don't think she's like doing too much. But like I wouldn't know who she was if it wasn't for that show. He's putting on like freestyle battle rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like he's cutting checks. I love people that cut checks. But now, because something he did a year ago, everybody check cut.
Well,
and he's gonna have to fight for the rights of a show that he built. He built that empire.
Yeah.
But Viacom owns all that shit.
Yes, they do.
Go ahead.
And my thing is, I feel I understand, you know what I'm saying? And if anybody, like, if you anything like me, of course, I'm sure you delved into your Pan-Africanism, a little bit of the Hebrew, like you done seen a lot of that, some of that little scary Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar scare me now, y'all. I'm sorry. He's scaring me, dog. But you know, I think we've all delved into it, and I really feel like he was passing along and speaking on information, like you said, that he had studied and been influenced by and probably learned and appreciates, and I appreciate it too. But it's also like him being who he is, I feel like at certain times you do have to remain diplomatic. It is unfair, but you do have to remain diplomatic in certain settings because, I mean, look what happens. You know what I'm saying? Now, where is he gonna do? I mean, Diddy did offer for him to come to his media outlet, but you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, Diddy's not Viacom. He's not. I mean, he's Diddy though.
But people would watch that movie on a different network. They absolutely would. Yeah, they would.
Oh yeah.
I don't think he'd make no money with Diddy. Like I feel like Diddy would try to.
I ain't saying that now. I ain't saying that. I think I think they will make money together. I think that I think what's happening right now, there is a big change going on in America, and like Black folks, even white folks, is jumping on I want to support a Black business today, like, and they on that. So I do feel like we definitely still stand to make money. I just feel like it might have been unwise for him to share that. I mean, everybody doesn't need to know your innermost feelings. They don't. It's not necessary. Yeah. And when you tell people your feelings, you do have to be prepared for their. I mean, if you gonna share your feelings, they gonna share theirs, and they share their feelings with contracts being ripped up.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a very strong. And the thing about the cancel culture, because one thing we've been doing, I think us as Black, we've been canceling everybody left and right. You cancel. We canceling our own people. Oh, they support the police. You cancel. Well, now the clapback is real. Mm-hmm. One of us got canceled big time, and when they canceled that one, they canceled the entire platform. Like, not only are you canceled, but everybody up under you is canceled too. Now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a powerful clapback.
That was a big move.
Yeah, I think people need to really look at that. Like, you know, I think that cancel culture is kind of like, I'm not really on that wave, but I think that we got to see a big clapback, or we got to see it on the other side, and how it can really affect a person's pockets. Like, you can't. I don't think we want to cancel everybody. Canceling ain't what's up, because that cancel hurt. Because I like Wild 'N Out. Like, me and my kids watch that show.
I think a big thing you have to remember is everybody's going to make a mistake sooner or later. Period. Mm-hmm. And when it's you, how are you going to feel? How are you going to want people to treat you? And that will be informed, like Courtney said, by, and I think Charles said it too, by how you, no, I forget who said it, but it will be informed by what you do. No, we're talking about August Alsina. What you're doing now will then will affect your later. So when you treat somebody when they're face down on the ground, well, that time when you mess up in the future, because you're human and that's bound to happen. Yeah. How would you want people to treat you? And that's why I don't like cancel culture. Because to me, it's like Jussie Smollett. I haven't really canceled Jussie because I feel like I don't agree with what he did. Absolutely not. But then again, you know, him in 10 years is not the same as him now. And that situation will then hopefully have improved him as a human being.
Okay, Charles, you want to go ahead and speak on that?
Let's see. With Nick, I feel like in that situation, you have to just be careful with how you word your words. You know, you can say certain things, but you have to word it a certain way. Some people not gonna get it, and some people will get it. Some people will get it later. But the way you word your words is very important, you know. And that's what got Nick, you know, kind of in what he in, because he could have said what he said differently. The way he said it, that what made everybody, you know, look at him differently. But I didn't like how when he did come back and apologize, everybody was like, "Oh, he bagging on his word. Or this. They like to use the word coon in it and all that. He doing this and doing," but they'll forget, like they have short-term memory of the things he did for the community. You know, like you said, putting a lot of people on. He was trying to do the finish the Dr. Sebi documentary. And I feel like once he did that, he put a target on him anyway, you know, because when you start to talk this vegetables and gardens and stuff, you messing with people medicines, because it's gonna knock the medicines out the box. So when you mess with that right there, that's like a big industry in the United States, and they ain't gonna have that. They want you on that medicine. They want to give you all the pills you can get to make you come back and get some more.
I was gonna say, so going into that, I think me and you, Charles, we were talking about how the pharmaceutical companies, that's $1 billion industry. So Dr. Sebi, prior to his death, like went to like the Supreme Court. Like he went to court fighting that he could heal and he could cure certain diseases and ailments. There is always a big debate as to whether it was true or not. He's always talked about, you know, purifying the blood and your cells and all of that. And so he kind of went to his grave, you know, kind of adamant in his stance, but also being able to prove and win that case in the Supreme Court. So when he passed away, like, you got to think about how damaging that is for somebody to come forth and say, you don't need all those pills. Like, you can heal your own body in the natural way. You are from the earth, which I believe everything that Dr. Sebi said. I believe in that stuff. So I believe that he was definitely on to something, and he was right. So when he died, a lot of people were like, good, that kills all of that. And then, you know, Nick Cannon kind of picked up the torch and was like, no, his platform is extremely large, and he got eyeballs on him now. Like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got pharmaceutical companies, they're not here. And I hate to say it like this, I don't think a lot of people understand. Pharmaceutical companies are not here to cure you. They're here to treat your symptoms. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you go to a doctor's office, they are practicing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a doctor's office where they practice. So we're going to try this out and see if this works. And if it doesn't, we'll move to something else. You know what I'm saying? Pharmaceutical companies, take this pill, is going to treat your symptoms. There is not, unless it's like an antibiotic, there is no guarantee that it's going to be cured. Your body has to kind of do what it does. Blood pressure medicine does not stop your blood pressure from being high. It just assists you. You know what I'm saying? And help you lower it. You have to put in the work in order for your blood pressure to lower. You know what I'm saying? And so they make a lot of money off of that alone. And then they inflate. So they take we got this pill, we got metoprolol or something. I think metoprolol is a blood pressure medicine. I can't remember. I don't remember all these drugs and stuff no more. It's been a minute since I did some nursing stuff. But, you know, like, they'll give you a blood pressure medicine for this, come out with the same exact thing and charge you inflated 3 times the amount of the price, and it's the same thing that you just got here, and your hair is gonna fall out, and your skin's gonna get bad, and you beating up your liver. But you probably could just change your diet a little bit. And
a lot of that medicine is placebo medicine. Placebo is to make you think that you're taking medicine. It's actually a sugar pill, and it's really your belief in that pill what heals you. It's not the pill; it's a placebo effect, you know, and it's really not healing you. But you on that pill, as soon as you take it, you start to think that you feel better, and your mind take over, and it makes you feel better, but it's really in your mind.
And so for Nick to take a stance in,
but does he really take a stance though?
Such a strong platform, and I think maybe I won't say he took a stance. Yes, I'm gonna say for him to get his insight with such a large audience staring at him and already waiting to see. I don't know about y'all, but I'm waiting to see this Dr. Sebi documentary. And if I'm waiting to see it, just so regular chick from around the way, I know pharmaceutical companies are waiting to see. I know that the healthcare industry is a big industry. That's almost like going into the government. Eventually, when it boils down to it, you going at the government.
Exactly.
What y'all doing, we don't need. You know what I'm saying? That's,
you messing with the Colombians and Medellin.
Yeah.
But then look,
Yeah.
the thing about it is, though, I don't think it is the government. The only reason I say that, and this is going straight, and this is I hate the timing of it, but the thing about pharmaceuticals is there's so many countries in this world that don't charge people for healthcare, and that conversation has been on everybody's tongues. What do you think Obamacare is supposed to be the precursor to? So eventually, pharmaceutical companies will be paid for by the government. So then you erase all that stuff anyway. So then I personally feel like when something like that happens, then you won't be having people push so many pills because it's like, oh, you push these pills, you're gonna have to pay for these pills. And that's coming out of the government's pocket once it becomes universal health care. And maybe it's me being naive, but I do believe that universal health care is on the horizon. And because I feel like that's something you can't help. You don't choose to get cancer. You don't choose to get high blood pressure. You don't choose to get freaking sickle cell. You know what I'm saying? These are things that happen to you. And by the quality, just by being a human being, you should have the freedom to be taken care of. So I think when it comes to the Nick Cannon thing, though, I think for him in that situation, I wish he had chosen I don't know the man who was on there with him. I know the group. But I wish he had chosen a more tactful approach because I find it more effective. I find it more effective when trying to get someone to hear what you're saying to make sure that the ears are open. And
you should have done a documentary
or something. When you use a certain language or certain types of words, you then close people's ears because to some Black people, they're going to hear that and go, "Oh yeah," because they were already on that wavelength. So some other Black people, like this, I'm sure there's plenty of Black people who heard that and was like, "Wow, he sounds like a dick," and he's not usually the type of person that sounds like that. He's a totally different. We grew up with Nick Cannon, and I don't think he meant it to come off that way. I wish he and his host would have been more tactful. Now, the thing about us as Black men, we're not taught tact. We're taught force. We're taught to stuff it down your throat instead of trying to teach you how to sip it. So when you're tactful with your message, it will reach a lot more people.
I think he tried to be tactful. I don't think that he necessarily wanted to come off as rude.
I feel like, I feel like if it was a Jewish man in that room, his conversation would have went differently. I really do.
Because
so
if he was a
like
Jewish man,
like you feel like he said what he said, and then it was like afterwards he was like.
I don't feel like he was going back, like he would go back on his words. I feel like he would have a more diplomatic way to say it. I feel like he would have not censored himself, but kind of treaded a little bit more lightly. You can have the same conversation. It's not about what you're saying. It's about how you say it. And he was really... He was going hard. Like that's something you do in the room. That's the conversation you having at Thanksgiving when you yelling at your auntie. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not the conversation that you have that's going to be displayed for the whole world to see because the whole world ain't ready for them intimate living room conversations. And that's why they say that was an in-house statement. It really was. I don't feel like he would have said those things in the same manner if there was a Jewish or a white man sitting across from him. I don't.
Courtney's asking what he said that's wrong. So what Nick
he didn't say anything wrong. He didn't say anything wrong.
Well, Nick Cannon.
Well, he called him soulless.
I got
soulless, barbaric. I had a couple of words I had wrote down somewhere else. I was like, damn, like
the statement to me.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
But the statement, when I read it, the first thing I heard, because the first press release I read, he didn't really have anything that he said. What it was highlighting was what the other man said. And what he said was that Jews are responsible for all of the wickedness in this world. That was the comment that stood out to me. Is like,
he didn't lie.
Huh?
Go ahead, Courtney.
I don't agree with that. The reason I don't agree with that is because I know I was raised by a woman, not raised by her, but I've had a Jewish woman in my life since I was a child, and she's been nothing but supportive of our family in innumerable ways.
It's like black people, bro. It's like black people, right?
Yeah, you can't put all of us in a category.
Not all, exactly. So it's like if you know the history of that, those. And I don't want to get y'all flagged, but
history.
The one that's in Israel right now.
Hold on. Let me talk right quick. I just want to hear what he got to say so we can get some understanding. Okay, go ahead, Courtney.
The ones that are representing Israel right now, they are adopted into the covenant. They are causes. They are not real. They are the redhead stepchild that they consider us to be. They are the Edomites. They are not us. 400 years, and it's 1438. 400 years bondage is what the Most High promised Abram and his offspring. I don't know 400 years of poor white folks. So for them to say that he said something Semitic when it's Shemitic, they don't even speak a whole entire language. They are not. They are who the Bible says they are. They are the synagogue of Satan. They are not the Hebrews, and not all of them. Again, they practice our ways.
The issue I have with that is it still then puts the responsibility on current Jews of what you say our title was stolen. This mantle of the original family was stolen by them, and they're the redhead stepchild. But we're generations away from that at this point. Now, I know there are certain people who have money and they're in power and they're doing fucked up shit, period. I get that. What I'm saying is that, first of all, this belief that every time someone has this conversation, you have to believe Christianity and Islam and Judaism to adopt that. And there's a lot of people who don't believe that. So this is a belief that is backed up by books, but it's backed up by books. We weren't there, so we can't say beyond a shadow of a doubt, yes, these Jewish people did that. We can say, I believe that because of all this evidence, but that's different from saying yes. That's why I feel like when you present information like that, you have to be tactful because you're saying something that you believe very strongly and that you believe is the truth, but it doesn't mean that's everybody's truth. And it doesn't mean that everyone has to believe that truth. And for you to say that when someone doesn't believe,
I don't push that belief, but history proves this. History, like you got to understand where people come from. Like you got a northern tribe and a southern tribe. They do us what they did back then to us, right? We still get hung by a tree, still get lynched, we still get hunted down. So it's like if 13 families, 13, not gonna call no names, control everything in this world.
Where did this come from?
They control the media. Where it came from?
No, I'm saying this idea that you have, this ideal that you're speaking of, this theory is from the Bible, correct?
Everything is lined with 13 families.
So if you don't believe in the Bible, like I said, you have to.
The Bible is a history book, bro.
But every book, there's plenty.
You don't have to be Christian.
There's plenty of history.
You don't have to be Christian. It is Hebrew.
To me, if you look at that book as unsubstantiated, which a lot of people do, then you can't base any truth off of that book. I'm not saying that I believe that. I'm just saying.
So we didn't go through 400 years of slavery and bondage.
In order to buy into that theory, you first must buy into the Bible. And if
I understand what you're saying. I understand what he's saying too, because I'm like that too. Like the Israelites, they got a good argument, but when you start to get into scientifically, you know, you got a lot of people are going to question it, you know. But like if it was me, I look at a lot of the Hebrew Israelites. You know, I like some of the stuff they said. Like they got an argument, but at the same time, like you said, we don't know. So, but a lot of us as you know, so-called African Americans, you know, we are raised on the Bible. So once we start to hear people interpret that Bible and they know what they're saying in, and we like, really? You know, and that's what got me. But it was like a lot of the things that when I was young and I was brought up in church that our preachers weren't preaching on that them Israelites was bringing. I had to go to the Bible and say, that ain't in the Bible. Then I look and I'm like, it's right here, you know. But they got an argument and I see where they coming from, you know. But it's like we are the lost tribe because nobody knows what's real or where we come from. You know, we scattered all over, you know, a little bit here, and we like the bottom.
Exactly.
Everywhere we go, we're at the bottom. And that's what, if you go by the Bible, that's what it says. But somebody can kill that by saying, I don't believe in the Bible, so what's next? You know what I'm saying?
I want to give Courtney a chance because I wanted him to go ahead and kind of clarify like why he believes and where he got his belief from. And then we're going to go ahead and kind of wrap up because we went over today. We already 10 minutes over. My calculated time. I know I died asleep for the first live ever. So I really had time I could talk, but I want to give Courtney because I think with the passion started kicking in a little bit, and like Courtney was trying to explain, and it was like, you know what I'm saying, like,
Back up, Darian. Back it up.
Like Darian was like, "Hey, you believe the Bible? You believe the Bible?"
Yeah.
All right,
but what I'm gonna say is like Hebrew is not a belief; it is a religion. Is belief. The Bible it tells a detailed history if you want to believe in the words or not, but it tells a detailed history of who we are in many passages. It was scattered. They took the Bible, they took verses out of the Bible. Why? Because like Mr. Charles said, Pastor don't tell you who, when, where, how, because they are 301c. They have to, in order to keep that free tax money that they don't get taxed on, they get collected every Saturday or Sunday. They tell you what you need here is press. They don't. I don't know about y'all, but in the South where I'm from, they don't help out in the community. They used to.
Exactly.
But those brothers that I see help out, is brothers like me. If you need it, I got it. It's yours, right? So again, the 400 years of bondage, worshiping a God that is not ours in a foreign land. I don't see, the history of us. Don't nobody like us. They tolerate us. They don't love us. They tolerate us, right? We don't control nothing in this United States or anything in this world. We have a piece of it, but we don't control. They shut us down. Those people from Poland and Russia. Those people are not. They are the adoptive. They were the Edomites that got brought into because they follow the laws. And it's 613. It's not 10. On the 30 commandments, you got laws about, if you, my brother, and you borrow from me, I can go in your house and get it back. I can't eat pork. I can't eat shrimp. I gotta love my brother as he is my neighbor. Those people don't love us. We are not welcome back. If you look at the television on what's going on across seas that gets leaked out, you got people over there now still selling. You got people over there right now selling bodies right now. So it's like people don't care about us. They are trying to, again, if you say Semitic, how can you be Semitic when it's Asian, Hispanic? It's black. It's Afrocentric. That if you word it up, that's where that comes from. So Nick didn't say anything wrong. He spoke the truth.
But that's not what he said. He didn't say that black people were the original Jews. That was negative. The negativity was about wickedness, and you never addressed that. How is that a lie? How is that true? That they're
a lie?
You said you asked me what he said that was bad. What the comment was that Jews are responsible for all of the wickedness in the world. So, and you said they didn't lie.
If you look at history, they've been on both sides of the war, the winner and the loser.
So have we.
Sponsored all the wars.
So have we.
Right? What do you mean?
It's like we helping them. We more helping them than we helping ourselves. That's the only way we in the war.
But we've been in every war,
We've done it.
and we've been on both sides, winning and losing of wars. We lost the Vietnam War. That's why we call it a conflict, because we lost. And then the loss of life was only compounded on by the loss of
the black.
So we was fighting for the United States. We weren't fighting for like the black people.
How are we not fighting for our own people?
Did you come
By
out of
keeping our own? I feel like when black people went to war, they chose to go to war. Black people fought in the Civil War.
Yeah, they
because
did.
they wanted to protect
They chose.
their country. That
If you join the army, you gonna go. If you join the army, you gonna go. But if you join the army, you're fighting for America. They ain't gonna say like this is an African American army. You fighting with an American armed forces, you know. So
America.
we fight their battles most of the time. But even though we're dying in it too, you know, but it's their battle.
At this point, we're choosing to fight.
It was
Because
sponsored.
even in the Civil War, those slaves chose to fight.
Because they was promised something. They was promised land and freedom. And if you believe in Juneteenth, they still was in bondage and still in slavery for a whole year and a half later.
Yeah.
Juneteenth. So again, we don't come out of our pocket and say, "Here, we're gonna fund the war." Hey, I want you to go over here and shoot up Afghanistan. I'm a black.
But you're saying that we don't participate in war, and I guess that's where I disagree. But I hear you.
Yeah, we do participate. We participate.
We're willing participants in it.
Participate. I didn't say we didn't participate.
Yes, we do. We always participate in war.
I said we don't.
He didn't say that.
Huh?
I didn't say we don't.
Oh, okay.
I didn't say we don't.
You said
what
we
I
don't
said
benefit.
was I don't go to my bank and take out $100 million and say, "Here, I want you to go for me." We don't do that. That comes from the Federal Reserve and the federal government. Which in the
Do you feel like there are not black
legal.
people in positions of power that do exactly what you said? You feel like there's not black people who do that?
I understand that it is people like that, but on my
We're
level,
just not claiming
on
that.
your level, no, I don't.
But they got a roof over their head. Like they got like how Nick Cannon got counsel right there. Like he got the power to do a lot of stuff, but he got this roof over his head. And a lot of billionaire black people, they got a little roof. Even though like you could look at Master P, like he can kind of do what he want to do. Like P did it, but they got that roof. They got that line they can't cross because we're in their land. And as long as we're in their land, they get to say so. That's why I be like, why we gotta when we do the census. You know, I know they're trying to keep count of stuff, but if on applications you got American, you got Caucasian, this. If I want this job and I'm qualified, why you got to know what color I am? You know, that just make you not pick my application. You know what I'm saying? So that shouldn't be on there. A lot of time if we want to try to claim this land and take land, we got to say we're Americans. You know what I'm saying? When you look at me, you gonna know that I'm just which American I am. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, like I said, we just lost and we in other people's land. And as long as we in other people's land, we like a lot of people that's fighting in the war now, they doing it because they supporting their family. A lot of people go in the army for financial, for the benefits. They ain't going to say, I don't like them and I'm going over there to...
Charles, y'all are doing right now. The issue with me is that not what he said, is how he said it. Because y'all are right now saying what he said diplomatically. Y'all are proving
diplomatically.
You're saying
being nice
without saying.
You're using your big boy manners.
Right. Y'all got me.
Okay.
So look, I know all y'all, but we gotta wrap it up, y'all, because we done went over and we got to go on with our days. We got to go on. I love all y'all. So I already figured out what this is. So we already know what next week's topic is. That's what I figured. I think this obviously is something that we need to take a little bit more time, but it ain't gonna be today. Okay, y'all ain't finna keep me online for 2 hours. But I see you. Y'all go back.
I'm about to get in the comments. I'm gonna comment kings. I'm finna run these comments up.
So I do thank you all for being on. Courtney, I appreciate your insight. Duryea, Charles, Brittany, I love y'all. Thank y'all for being on the show. We're gonna have to just pick this up next week, and we just gonna have to title this one up religion or religion in America. I don't know where we want to go with it, but obviously we need some time. Okay. So thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and then it's happening on YouTube. Also, if you could please look out for my boy Duryea, Woe Nelly Media. He has a show, Talk It Out. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. Hey, y'all know we military bashing. Germany people, where y'all at? We need y'all support. We trying to get our subscribers up too. So hit us up.
Mhm.
Love y'all. Until next week, we'll see you again on And Then This Happened. Peace out.